All right, guys, so everybody watching Cruel World, Happy Mind, How Ethan Klein Destroyed His Career by Uninformed Leftist.
So let's talk about CWHM, Cruel World, Happy Mind. I've literally never heard of this channel. The Fall of H3, How Ethan Klein Destroyed His Career. Oh, let's go. Let's go.
You're so happy about that. Oh, right. Ethan Klein's career is totally fucked up now. Haven't even seen the video yet, but you're all giddy about it, huh?
All right, we'll watch this. This is not 3 hours long, is it? This is 3 hours long? Okay, never mind. We're not watching this. No, we're not watching this whole thing. What are the chapters in here? Let's get.
And also, don't watch it. A lot of these things that Happy Mind, Cruel Mind, or whatever her name is, it's all just regurgitating old ass talking points. Watch what's his name? The King of Nothing, or whatever that fool's name is, the King of None, or whatever his name is. That guy, same video, same shit. All these talking points or whatever they're trying to slander Ethan Klein on, it all has been debunked already. She's just sort of rebooting everything without any research, and it's worse. It's bad. It's horrible. Ethan Klein debunked it, most of the talking points that she talked about, and obviously it's a very biased view from Happy World Cruel Mind, or whatever her name is, and it's just so stupid. And this guy, maybe I don't want to give him the benefit of the doubt, but I feel like he might have seen it a little bit, but he just wants to be on that Hassan Piker, dick train. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Let me know, you guys.
Give her the intro.
What we do here is go back.
Oh, she borrowed the go back from iDubbbz and probably borrowed it from someone. Yeah, maybe I'll watch the intro a little bit. God damn, it's a 10-minute long intro? That's too long. We do not have to watch this whole thing. Let's just get the vibe. Talked about the collar? Good acronym.
I, Ethan Klein, have registered content new with the United States Library of Congress. We are being sued for copyright infringement. Theoretically, I could sue a lot more creators and rake in millions of dollars. Some of you guys out there sweating.
Dude is like a deep-rooted misogynist, like scary.
It's, women are in a nature setting, like, to be conquered. Like conquer.
Ethan Klein definitely is a misogynist, so I'm...
What? What? That is so fucking out of turn there, man. What is a misogynist? What is your definition of misogynist? What? How can you say that? What makes him a misogynist? Does he say that? Does he explain why is he a misogynist? Because he has multiple women working on his show, and also previously too as well. His wife, he lets his wife work, right? Have her own business, her own industry, apart from him, who has a YouTube career, right? What are you trying to say? Where is the misogyny from Ethan Klein?
I'm looking forward to that if we have a section on that. Initial controversies, hypocrisy, petty fresh copying, frenemies, Triller. He was on Triller, Leftovers. We have a misogyny thing, suing streamers. Okay, well, let's...
Racist, right? No. Yeah. Okay.
Then he's a hypocrite here because he said before, and someone makes a compilation like, here's Ethan saying.
Ironic N-words are still N-words.
You either die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain.
I've gone goblin mode over way less. I got the button. I'm ready.
You tune in to watch your favorite podcast. It's a casual stream where it feels like friends who are hanging out with you, talking about the funny things happening online.
I am a messy... I say that all the time. I'm a catty, messy bit. You were born...
The misogynist, you saw how he dressed? right? Such a sassy little, little outfit he has with his wife. But he's a misogynist, bro. Yeah, no doubt about it.
Fine.
I am a messy. I say that all the time. I'm a catty, messy bit. You were born fat.
I was always fat. Just a fat fatty. You look crazy.
And then I saw the back, and I was like, oh, that's pretty epic.
You remind me of Gypsy Rose Blanchard.
But suddenly things start changing.
But at the end of the day, I don't care.
Is this like an ASMR channel, or is that just the way she talks? Like, is she, I don't know, I'm going to have to see one of her live streams or something to see if that's kind of the vibe of the video.
Oh, buddy. If you want to watch her doing a live stream, oh my God, it's like brain damage. There's a reason why I also edit my videos, right? Because I say a lot, or I have a lot of filler words, but God damn it, man. The way that she talks, it's like 90% filler words, and then you have to get right to the end for her to say something actually meaningful. He confronted her about all these things that she talked about, and she was just so flustered with everything and try to put the blame on her editors, on whoever else it might be, because she was like, well, I didn't do enough research, or I didn't do all this and that, and it's just like, yeah, she is dumb, bro. She is dumber than probably Uninformed Leftist at this point. The way that she talks, she needs somebody to write her script for her, or like, I don't know, man. I don't know how she's gotten that popular at all. But it's embarrassing. Like, and it's also, it's when Ethan had her on the podcast, halfway into it, I just took it off because I just was like, oh my God, this is just painful to hear. And I wasn't even watching it. I was listening through it, and I just took it off. And then later on, I listened to the highlights of it because it was just terrible, dude. It was terrible. And maybe that's why the Uninformed Leftist didn't want to watch the whole thing. Maybe he watched it. Maybe he did. Maybe I'm wrong about it, but maybe this is why he was like, let's just get a vibe of it. You know what I'm saying?
Crazier than you are by a lot.
He did react to this?
Insane. I don't care.
The host of the podcast starts acting out of character, focusing on dark corners of society, dark corners of the internet. Suddenly, the host thinks that everyone is against them, even you, the viewer.
Okay, dummy. All of a sudden, you gotta get all bitched out. Like, give me a break.
Yeah, he was focusing on, he was covering Aaron Bushnell in this clip. He wasn't covering the dark corners of the society or the internet. And he was ridiculing a guy for doing a protest against a genocide from a country that he supports. Like, that's why he was ridiculing him. Not really a dark.
No, he doesn't support that country. And he has stated that multiple times. He has stated that he has voted against Netanyahu. And I don't know why they never bring up that point. They always try to make him seem like a blatant or an absolute supporter of Israel, which he is not. He has said multiple times, and also Hila too. I don't know why they keep jumping to that point where Ethan is a diehard supporter of Israel. You're just lying about that point, man.
Dark corner of the internet, just a dark moment on his show. I'm not hating her voice sounds good. I'm just wondering if that's an added bonus for the people that watch her. I don't say that about every woman that we hear talk. I'm saying it specifically about her because she's, I don't know, man, she's like enunciating in that way.
You. So why are you expressing such dumb thoughts in my chat? So you're a fake fan. You. Get lost. I'm sick of it.
What was supposed to be your comfort podcast, the place you go after a long day, the place you went to relax, turned into a toxic war zone where the host is even launching campaigns against other people that you enjoy watching. You feel like you need to pick a side. The world is getting darker and darker every day, swallowing up your favorite content creator. And before you know it, you no longer recognize them.
Oh, hi there. It's me, your old friend, Ethan Klein. It's been a while since we've last spoken.
If this story's familiar to you, you may be a former fan of the H3 podcast.
I am a former fan, not a fallen fan.
Ethan Klein began creating content in 2011 in Israel alongside his wife Ela Klein, then girlfriend. By 2015, the H3H3 Productions channel exploded, hitting 1 million subscribers by 2016.
You may have heard that we hit 1 million!
That same year, the H3 podcast was born, with
Good clip, man, to the B-roll. Great B-roll there, buddy.
virtually equal success. But by 2025, most of the
I'm getting Uma Thurman vibes from this content creator.
H3 fans have abandoned them, with only a small group of very fervent
Maybe Uma Thurman's daughter, she went on the H3 podcast and she started crying as a way out, I feel like, in my opinion. Because it wasn't even a debate. They were just questioning her on the clips that she put on, and she wanted a way out, I feel like. Uma Thurman's character from Kill Bill wouldn't have done that. She would have just fought. But she had nothing. She had nothing at all.
supporters left behind.
I don't understand what's going on because it's November, which is usually your highest revenue month, and this was like our lowest revenue month of the year.
Why did this happen? The very machine or monster that Ethan built, off of commenting on the flaws of other creators, began to eat him alive. A Frankenstein of his own making that he thought he controlled, but began to control him.
Oh, here it is. He took the Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde potion. He's turning into the Goblin. I'm the fucking Green Goblin, It's over.
Before we dive into this heavy video,
What does that even mean either? Like, Ethan has always talked about pop cultural shit. People online, like, what's her name from Miranda Sings, or the David, the singer guy, even maybe the guy that you like, he talks about. But he doesn't talk about them just because they're good people, right? He talks about them because there's something going on with them, something bad. He's not targeting certain people just because he doesn't like them. He doesn't know most people online. He has to do some research and figure out what they are and who they are and what did they previously talk about. Most of these things that Cruel Mind, Happy World talked about, she doesn't know anything about. She doesn't know what the show is about. She doesn't know anything about this shit. I, for one, who has seen H3 since the H3 channel, like when he was doing those videos up until he did the podcast, and then when he transitioned to the podcast, I didn't watch most of his podcast shit. It took me 2 years until I started to watch the podcast later on. 2 or 3 years from then, when he started to transition to that point. And then I watch it now somewhat regularly now. I used to watch it more regularly, but now I watch it somewhat regularly because, I work, I have a regular job, and it doesn't fit my schedule. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
I don't know. I don't necessarily agree with that characterization of what happened with the show. I don't think it was necessarily Ethan Klein created an audience that criticizes a bunch of people, and then he started getting criticized by that audience. I think it's pretty clearly leftovers and him just getting more and more friendly with the leftist and more political parts of the internet. And then the October 7th breakup where he just lost his mind because he suddenly...
Okay. So I guess where he started to recognize Ethan more was during the Leftovers podcast, right? It was a good show. It had its moments, right? From time to time, you gotta see Hassan Piker and how he acted and who he was as a character started to come out more, right? And I felt like that Hassan got more exposed than Ethan Klein did, right? To a more of a casual audience, in my opinion, right? Because I watch Ethan more than Hassan Pike. I wasn't on Twitch and watching 8-hour streams. And then when I started to watch it because of the Leftovers, I started to hear some of his live streams. I would hear, from time to time, him just going a little bit off hinge. Hassan Piker, don't, he is the type of guy to go off on his own chat. And we've seen it now even more recently with all these controversies with the dog collar, also him like yelling at his 40-month subscribers, and he's telling them like, oh, you need to touch grass, man. Like, these guys are the people that have been funding your life, and then all of a sudden you tell them that, yeah, you kind of like, you don't even know anymore, you don't even understand me anymore. It's like, dude, these guys have been seeing you for the longest, and then you're telling us that these guys don't know who you are. These are the guys that fund your life, man. And Ethan hasn't ever been that type of guy to be too like up to, up front to his like audience. Like with some of them, like I think the last clip was the ones he was trying to shut off from the Hassan Piker audience, and that's why he's like telling them like, hey, I gained some of the Hassan Piker audience into my audience, right? But I don't want you guys because I know you guys are the ones that are not gonna ever support me. You clearly have a biased side, and just unsubscribe to me and forget about me. You're always gonna be shitting on me because your guy is Hassan Piker.
He had to face the reality of being a liberal Zionist and that inherent contradiction. That inherent contradiction broke his brain. You can't be a leftist online while being a liberal Zionist. And so then he decided to go to...
That's just a lie. He's not a Zionist. I don't know where they keep getting that Zionist talking point. He's not a Zionist. Not even Eli is either. And if Uninformed Leftist wants to talk to me about it, I'm down to debate that. I'm not scared about debating anybody about what I know that is a fact about the guy that I know. He says it all the time. Just because a person like you doesn't want to hear about what you want him to even talk about, so you can drown out this Zionist thing. He has said I don't even support Israel. I never supported them doing this thing, what they're doing to Palestine, right, or to Gaza. And for you to keep putting that out there, you're just not being honest. You're not an honest person, man.
War with the leftists too, because he did kind of go crazy trying to prove himself right. Oh yeah, she could definitely kill Bill if she wanted to. And she's wearing a leather jerkin while doing an ASMR video about Ethan Klein. She could do the 5-palm punch of death on Kill Bill's heart.
Let's take a moment for today's sponsor. Finding the right doctor is an incredibly personal process.
Unethical reacts.
Very different from the usual. A huge stance I have is always being empathetic to everyone, viewing all sides, understanding the story in its entirety. Ethan has a long history online, and I'm sure I won't be able to fully do that justice, but I'm going to try my best in this video to understand.
She doesn't do that at all. She doesn't even try, and it's blatantly obvious that she doesn't try to do research on it. Because the reason why is because the video that she did was 3 hours long. For her to, I guess, talk about Ethan's side, it might make it another 6 hours long. Maybe that's why. Or maybe not. Maybe she's just trying to be blatantly dishonest. That's why. Because everything that she wanted answered, that she told Ethan, I couldn't find this, I couldn't find that. Trust me, they are there. You can ask the AI chatbots to look up clips for you if you wanted to, but you didn't want to do that. You don't want to give him an unbiased view, even though you say, I'm unbiased. Shut up, you're not.
In the situation completely and what took place, and empathize with all parties involved as much as possible. So many other influencers that Ethan has run into and has had controversies with have had their own set of controversies, especially lately, which has made this video particularly anxiety-inducing, as I do not want to make it look like I am siding with any influencer over another. Or in this video, I'll empathize with an influencer, as I always tried to do, and boom, literally the next day, they have a major controversy. Even though other influencers' controversies is not the focus of this video, I feel the need to touch on those briefly so this video doesn't appear one-sided.
Are we gonna bring up the Hassan said 9/11? Hassan shocking his dog. I really can't think of any other controversies that has gotten brought up about Hassan recently. There was the thing where he was watching, what was it? It was Houthi propaganda, and he's like, this is sick music. That was big, but that was a year and a half ago now. So what are the controversies?
I'm just trying to...
That wasn't a year and a half ago. That was within this year. He's telling black people that, shut up. I know more about black people than you black people. I think that was the gist of it. And like, of course, I don't think whenever Uninformed Leftist does videos, he's gonna put Hassan Piker as the bad guy in his videos, right? He doesn't want to do that. He doesn't want the Hassan pipeline writing train to, nail him on that. He doesn't want that, because they're the most aggressive type of audience that I've ever seen. And I'm glad that I haven't done so many videos about it, because I've honestly, like, I haven't done that is because from what I've heard about when you do try to talk about Hassan Piker you're basically just, talk about what he said, like, people go out there and really try to, bad for him and defend him for certain things that are indefensible, especially the shock collar thing, right? There's so much evidence about it, and people are saying like, nah, you guys are delusional. You guys are hallucinating that, right? Like they make you think that you have a mental illness, right?
To do my best here. I did not expect so many influencers to have so many controversies in the course of the few weeks that I put together this video. And I really want to make it clear that I do not side with or stan any influencer or public figure, especially lately with everyone being overall disappointing. I think
I stan and side with Cruel World Happy
that
Mind.
Ethan Klein.
You shouldn't, because she's stupid. She's dumb. She's painfully illiterate, doesn't know how to speak. It's gonna make me sound like a misogynist now, but like, honestly though, she shouldn't be going on any live streams. That's what I'll just say about that. And also, the way that Ethan Klein had her on his show, and he did like a very baby like conversation with her. I don't, like, honestly, he was just being so nice to her because she was just trying to not talk about it. She was like having ADHD or whatever it's called. Like, oh, look at my look at this stain that I have in my couch, or oh my god, like, oh my god, my lights, my studio lights, my camera lights, they're gonna mess up, or oh my god, I hit my microphone, or she was just trying to distract from actually talking about the things. And it just put me off. Like, you don't do that when you're getting like, you're talking to somebody that you made a video about, and you can yourself defend the video that you made about them, and you tell them like, well, then what should I take out? It's like, if you know what's wrong about it, you should know what to take out. And Ethan himself was like, what did she take out? Because I didn't want to tell her what was wrong about it, but I feel like she should have just deleted the whole thing. But she's just doing this as maybe like as a money grab, like for sponsorship money, that she doesn't want to take it out. It's 3-hour video. She's getting a whole bunch of money for it, and the mistake for Ethan would have just been like to tell her like, hey, just delete the whole shit. Honestly, just erase it, delete it, and if you have the original, I guess like the rough edits, add on to that. I think if I was Ethan at that point, I would have said that to her. I would have been like, delete the original video, get those rough edits of it before you edit it, and get more context, get more information, and add on to it to make you sound less biased, right? And actually give Ethan a less like looking like a fucking asshole, because a lot of the things that she talked about, they are quite defamatory, and Ethan was like sort of saying like, hey, I don't want to sue her because it's gonna make me look bad now again, right? Because they always keep telling me I only sue women, and that maybe that's the whole point of people telling him that he's a misogynist or whatever, right? But I think she deserves to get sued, right? Because of all these like, all these defamation, like all these defamatory things, like they all have been debunked. Let's just go back to the video. You guys know what I mean. If you know Ethan Klein and you've seen some of his videos, you can understand what I'm talking about.
Is a reflection of a lot of what many of us are feeling in society. Fear, paranoia, division. While I don't want to add to that, I want to speak to it. I feel like I would be doing myself a disservice if I ignored what's happening currently. That being said, after this video, I'm planning to start a new series on my channel called Internet Archives, where I'm essentially diving into internet drama and pop culture moments in history with dramatic twists that have
don't do that. You're terrible at it. You suck.
happened throughout the history of the internet and social media. Think diving into the history of Dramageddon, diving into the old internet history of the Try Guys, and so on. I also want to provide the disclaimer that any discussion that brings up anti-Semitism will not be tolerated in this video. I do not believe that any group of people should be hated or vilified. That being said, I also believe that finding justice should never be through killing others. It's a cruel world, and to cause more harm is to continue the cruelty. I also want to say I'm not an expert in
hey guys, she said her name. It's a cruel world. Happy Mind. Shut the hell up, okay? Hopefully Ethan doesn't sue your ass for defamation, because this whole video is just a reboot of other people's videos that they have done on Ethan, and Ethan personally has debunked it. Understand that.
I do appreciate the disclaimer that you included at the beginning of, we shouldn't murder people. Okay, really covering your bases here.
Palestine and Israel and the conflict happening there that's been happening since Israel's inception, it seems. Well, I'll be speaking on that issue because it relates to later on Ethan's career. I also want to recommend these podcasts that I think go into the history and political context much better than I ever could.
You're recommending podcasts? Podcasts? Dude, what have we fallen to where it's like, oh, if you want a good resource to understand the history of Israel and Palestine, here's a podcast. Okay, well, I guess she listened to that. There are some good books that you can read too. Or, okay, I'm sure these podcasts are great. Actually, I'm not so sure that they're great. Hopefully they are, though.
Favorite podcast.
Like, I'll correct you on that. Uninformed Leftist. And if you want to listen to keep messing up her name, Cruel World Happy Mind, about her take on Israel and Gaza and Palestine and all that shit, don't even listen to me. I don't even know it, and I wouldn't even talk about it as much. I only know the scratching surface of it, and this is the reason why I don't even go on and talk about certain things like this. And for her to do that and think that she knows certain things or not, I think she says not at the end of this, but like, she shouldn't do this stuff. And she showed from previous videos, from past videos after this video that came out, and explained why she did this video, and it just made her sound the worst on explaining the history of Palestine, the Palestine conflict. And she got shit for even calling it a conflict, right? Oh no, call it a genocide. That's the best word to call it as. And she was like, oh my god, I'm so sorry. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can never ever make anybody happy online. You can't even call it a war. You can't even, like, they want you to call it this thing. They want you to call it this word, and they'll shit on you every day. They'll make your life terrible, because these people are just too like, I don't even want to say mentally ill, but like I don't know what it might be. You guys need to find a hobby. That's what I'm just gonna try to say, right?
To listen to is the Throughline podcast by NPR. They've done many podcasts on this issue. Some of my favorites is the podcast on settlements, the podcast on the history of Hamas, and the podcast on Palestine. I think much of these podcasts give a fairly well-rounded but in-depth approach that shows the historical context and how we arrived at this point. Also, I'm terrified to...
You made a follow-up video. Look, listen, I've called it a conflict before simply because I need another term to use other than every time. Like, in the most technical sense of the term, it is a conflict, but that is diminishing the scale of brutality that Israel is doing upon Palestinians. So you can say conflict, that's fine, but what we are seeing here is that he is playing both sides. She is
No, look, I think he's right on calling it a conflict. I don't think there shouldn't be a problem with that, because understanding YouTube, and you don't want YouTube to be on your back about calling it a genocide the whole time, right? You don't want that. And that's why you should be calling it a conflict, right? And all these people on YouTube don't understand that. These people on the comment section don't understand that certain keywords can get your video sort of like a little bit more hidden, because this is like more like, it's the edgy political shit. But it's, what do you want us... We can't... I know what you're just trying to... Like, the people that they're trying to say, like, it's a genocide. Yeah, I get it. But it's also... Yeah, it's a conflict, man. And it's... like... Don't fall for these people trying to make you say stuff because they don't know the rules of YouTube. There's certain things that I have to abide to, and there's some certain words I can't say. I can't say fuck 3 times, 4 times in a row, because that is against YouTube, the terms of service. People don't understand that. Just tell them that, and that's it. Shut them up.
Sitting, she is covering Israel and Palestine without doing the bare minimum, which is putting the majority of the weight of the deaths on Israel's shoulders. And that is what you need to be doing when there is an active happening right now. So look, you can call it a conflict, but you can't call it a conflict and then move on. You need to, you can call it a conflict in the context of you describing a happening. Like, that's what you need to do. So yeah, it is kind of a red flag if you're like, yes, this is a conflict of Palestinians and Israelis ever since the beginning of Israel, and I'm just not going to get into it. Okay, well, maybe you should. Maybe you should get into it. I think that anyone with a platform should be speaking out about this because it's relevant to everyone.
The problem with that is that Cruel World Happy Mind says that I don't know much about it. Watch these podcasts, right? That's the only thing that I'll agree with her on, is like, I don't know this. She said, I don't know this. Watch these podcasts, watch these other channels, because I can't talk to you about it. And that's the honest and probably the only reasonable thing that she could say about that, because if she tries to even put an opinion on it, it's not gonna be good. They're gonna be even shitting. They're gonna be shitting on her even more than when she called it a conflict, right? Like, you guys can shit on me for calling it a conflict. I don't give a fuck. I'll fucking fuck you up on the comment section, and you guys know it. Anybody that talks to me about shit like that on the comment section, I don't see them ever again. I'm very defensive on my comment section, but with her, it's just like, and you, I don't know. Maybe I should see you on your live stream. So maybe get a little bit on, see what you say about it. I don't know. I'm just bullshitting there.
If you're a athlete and you run like a sports podcast, whether you talk about internet drama, whether you talk about food, this is a that's happening right now, and it is relevant for everyone to be talking about it. Doesn't matter what kind of content you put out there, you can find ways to make it relevant to your content.
No, that's just wrong. Imagine you're just talking about boxing and then like you just bring up the conflict. No. You don't have to, man. If you're not a political person, if your channel's not political, why do you need to talk about it? That doesn't, like, people are going to be like, oh, why are you talking about this? Right? Like, not everybody needs to put their point out there and their commentary about this shit. If they don't even know about it, they're going to just sound stupid and they're going to get even more backlash.
And be a voice on the issue. And honestly, the fact that there are apolitical people talking about it is even better than just political people talking about it and trying to get people's awareness about it increased. It is disappointing to see, but you guys are saying that she does a follow-up video on here.
Make this video because of all of the reports that Ethan has been doing, even some of the weirdly veiled threats I've been receiving through Instagram DMs and comments from some supporters of Ethan filing false.
That's a lie. Everything that she says about that. No Ethan Klein or H3 supporter has ever said anything bad about her, or I mean, like, threatening her on things, right? They just were like being like criticizing her video, and I don't know how she takes criticism being as a threat, right? Like, you must be like a fucking soft ass bitch to be like, oh, I'm getting some criticism online, like my life's being threatened. Like, shut the fuck up, okay? There's a difference between getting threatened and criticism, okay? And then when they asked her about, let's see those threats, she's like, oh no, I deleted them. Like, okay, all of a sudden, like, you couldn't back that shit up, right? Because you had to put this light on Ethan Klein because, or Ethan Klein's fans who say like, I'm being threatened by Ethan. No, trust me, they wouldn't. They're not a threatening type of people. I've made videos on Ethan Klein before, and I've made certain videos that they're not very good about Ethan Klein, and they never threaten me. And that's just like, obviously, like, that's just anecdotal. But like, note this, like, there are some people that are gonna want to spin this and make them feel like a victim to that shit, right?
Reports against creators who critique him.
I'm proudly reporting this guy for, let's see, the most terrible, kind of. I don't know if that's the most accurate. He is encouraging and cheering on violence against civilians.
So I also want to make very clear I'm not making this video in any hateful manner, but to simply document how a sort of downward spiral can occur and how, in my opinion, Ethan's downfall isn't the result of a mass cancellation. How this is actually
Ethan Klein's downfall, guys. That's another thing too, is like, I never titled my videos as like the end of Joe Rogan, the downfall of Hassan Piker, this is the like, you know what I'm saying, like, the more Pegasus type of routes, right? Like those clickbaity titles, right? Ethan Klein has a consistent viewership. He has a consistent membership view. He has like, I don't know what is this downfall. Where is the downfall at? I keep seeing him online doing 3-hour shows, 4-hour shows. I don't know what that means.
Actually Ethan's own undoing, or as many have wondered, whether Ethan was the same person the entire time and one day decided to go mask off, as Ethan Klein seems to live life by one very hypocritical rule. Rules for thee, but not for me. As this Redditor describes the downfall of the Kleins, the shortest...
The issue with an apolitical person covering the Ethan Klein downfall, right? You can't come at this from a YouTube drama perspective, because it's not a YouTube drama perspective. This is a political issue. This is a political group of people, which are liberal Zionists, who have been existing under this contradictory world.
Wrong. He is wrong about that. He is wrong about that. And I'll say he's wrong about that. And how he's not going to prove with any clips. I'm not going to prove it with any clips too. Right? I'm going to say he's wrong about it. He's wrong about it. It's not.
View where Israel is simultaneously holding up all kinds of human rights in the Middle East. They are the moral beacon of the Middle East. They are an extension of American exceptionalism and progress and egalitarianism in the Middle East, and yet they are an ethno-state. Like we're talking about before October 7th. Israel is an ethno-state. They're doing 17th century style colonization in the West Bank. They have Gaza as a concentration camp, and they have different rules for different religions and races within Israel. So this is an...
Wait a minute. You know, I'm not going to sound ignorant about this, because I know in Gaza there are Christians, there are Muslims, there's this a wide variety of people there, right? But you understand that if you're a certain type of person over there in Palestine or Saudi Arabia or in Kuwait that are closely related to those people, what's going to happen to these minorities that are gay, trans, non-Jewish? What's going to happen to them? What's going to happen to these people? Right? They never like to answer these type of questions, right? And also, who started the war? Who started this conflict? Right? Because it surely didn't really just all of a sudden. I mean, there is a theory, like there is a conspiracy theory about, this was an inside job to get, Gaza and the Palestinians to get out of there. But ultimately, they try to say that Hamas isn't a terrorist group or whatever it might be, right? Even though, or the Houthis, they're not doing terrorism. But they don't like to talk about that. Why is that? But they love talking about it, and I don't mind it. But as like, hey, let's talk about the both sides of this whole issue, right? Because at the end of the day, a gay dude or a minority is going to be able to live with the Jews and with these people, but with the Muslims, you know what's going to happen to them? They're going to get thrown off of somewhere. They're going to get stoned. And I don't mean this type of stoned, right? You know what I'm saying? But they don't want to talk about that. They don't want to talk about the cruel world and then have a happy mind about talking about Israel, right? They don't want to talk about that.
Inherent contradiction where these people that are Democrats, they say that they're progressive, they say that they stand up for social values, are completely fine with a just utterly brutal and racist form of domination from a country that they support. So it is that kind of contradiction which Ethan was confronting.
And also that's another weird point too. Like, I don't even support Israel. I don't support Israel. I don't support Hamas. I don't support the Palestinians. I don't support anybody. I'm the most apolitical dude, but I can understand where you try to make it political, right? And try to put one side to another. And if we want to have these pros and cons list of stuff, we can have that and see where at the end where we'll meet up on, right? But they're not going to ever want to do that. They don't want to ever do that shit. Because at the end of the day, they're not going to be looking so good at the end of it. I feel like one party isn't, and I'm not gonna tell you who it is, but you guys know who it is, right? You guys know who it is, and that's the result of war, right? When you start a war, don't try to be like at the end of it, be like, well, oh well, we must, just forget about it. Like, it's been done. What do you want them to do about it? You guys, or whatever, it's an inside job, whatever it might be. It's it's being cooked. I don't want to even whatever.
Confronted with, which broke his brain, and a lot of other liberals had their brains broken in the exact same way. So if you can't talk about that, then you can't talk about the Ethan Klein story and him breaking up with Hassan, because that is the
why did Ethan Klein break up with Hassan? Why is that, huh? What was the main argument about that? Do you remember? Do you know why? And I'm sure you don't even want to even mention why it was, right? Why was the reason that Ethan Klein ultimately decided to cancel the show? What was the main point? And I'll tell you what it is, because I know what it is. It's because Hassan never ever wanted to talk anything or even sort of like antagonize his side to say that they're doing anything bad, anything at all, right? And also for him, Hassan wanted to generalize every Israel or Israeli into being part or wanting or liking this war, or wanting for this war to happen. And it never was that. But Hassan, if anybody knows Hassan never wants to be wrong about anything, and he doesn't want to take back anything. He is a fucking propaganda machine.
That is the impetus for him breaking up with Hassan. But anyway, I'm interested to see what she actually has to say. But like, she doesn't even have a segment on Israel and Palestine. She has a segment on the downward spiral, the end. Maybe we can talk about leftovers here. Does she talk about this a little bit more? Ethan's downfall goes beyond his Zionism, IMO. I mean, yeah, it's more than his Zionism, but that really was the driving force behind it. I think everything stems from that. Like, as I said, I think that it's like a psycho obsession with Hassan, but
that's not even true. That's just like a fucking another Hassan Piker talking point. Oh yeah, Ethan Klein he's sexually attracted to Hassan Piker, bro. I feel like you are, right? Anybody that talks about Hassan Piker, they're attracted to him because he's so hot. This fucking guy that I can see in the streets, because I live in California too, You think I'm scared of Hassan Piker, fucking hairy ass fucking Turk with a fucking autism problem? I don't know. Like, I don't even, you know what? Erase that part. But it annoys me that people are trying to put this sort of spin on it because they have nothing else. Oh yeah, Ethan Klein must be gay because he's got kids, he's got a wife, he's got a happy life, and he's got people in his crew, right? But what happens with Hassan Piker? Hassan Piker can't even say who his girlfriend is. He can't even. He's always trying to fish, trying to gay bait, or trying to like show his like arms and muscles, and trying to sexualize himself. What does that say about him, man?
But he was brain broken by October 7th. Guys,
I mean, Hassan has been also brain broken by October 7th, but oh fuck, it's just this guy. Maybe he needs somebody like me to sort of break down his content and sort of also talk about how he is measuring up his approach to certain things and how he thinks that Ethan Klein is the bad guy in this whole thing, because from what I've heard from Ethan Klein, I've seen his streams, like he's always denounced the Israeli government and Netanyahu and Ela Klein too, right? And who's been always attacking him? Hassan Piker fans, the H3 Snark page. Who does Ethan Klein attack? Who have you heard that his audience attacks? They don't attack you. They don't attack Denims. They don't attack Frogan. They don't attack Casey Tron. They don't go after that. They don't do that stuff. But the people that they favor, like Hassan Piker, they go after Ethan. They go after the people that they like. That Ethan is is support of. I bet if you try to talk some shit about Hassan Piker, they're gonna go against you, bud. And we have seen that with what's his name, Millhouse, right? Millhouse talked about the whole dog collar stuff, and then he had to back up. He had to back up his statement and say like, "Oh, guys, I was trying to be, critical, but I guess not because, I'm losing subscribers because." I became known for shitting on Ethan and AB. I was like, shut the fuck up, okay? Don't be such a bitch. And also, create your own viewership because you're actually a good guy and a decent person. Don't try to fish for these idiots that are biased because they like this pretty boy Hassan Piker shit. The number one propagandist, man. Obviously, he has said that he's a propagandist. He has said on the Piers Morgan show, "Oh, I am a propagandist." Don't fall for that shit, guys. All right, guys. I'll end this video and I'll see you guys for another one. I'll let you guys go. Subscribe. Bye bye.